welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to it. I have another humongous book haul to share with you. It's huge. I'm slightly embarrassed in sharing this with you, but at the same time I want to share it because there's some amazing books in this haul. But yeah, we have a big haul. It's huge. It's even bigger than my March one, which was 60 plus. Yeah, let's just get straight into this video and me show you what books I have got, because there's quite a few. So, like I said, my last book haul was in March. It was a 60 plus book haul. I think there was about 62 or 63 books in that. However, that book haul was accumulated over 3 months, so it was from January to March. They were all of the books that I got gifted or bought or whatnot. So this book haul is just a book haul that I got for the month of April. I am currently filming this on the 29th of April. By the time we probably see this, it will be May, and I expect by the time I publish this on my channel there'll be some more books that have arrived. But hey ho, so I have, from what I've counted, 67 books. Yeah, I have a book problem, like a really big book problem, and I should get some help. Ugh. I'm looking at it, like literally I have so many books. I will move you. That isn't even half of it. It's bad. And I'm having to try and remind myself that a lot of these books I was gifted by publishers and authors for book tours that I'm participating in May. A lot of books that I've got were from a book swap, so I didn't actually pay any money towards it. And the other books that I've got are either second hand from a charity shop. There are a couple that I did buy brand new. So I'm trying to remind myself that this isn't too bad, because apart from one little section that I bought myself, it isn't a lot of money because I have bought second hand. But when I look at the amount of books, I'm like, good grief. And like, I have no bookshelf space at all. Like, I've literally, I've been shelf shopping now. I've picked the shelves that I want. So I've got the Billy ones, the really tall ones, not the big humongous ones. Like there's a £70 one which I wanted, but it doesn't fit in my room where I want it. So I've got two of the smaller ones, which like make that one big one. But I obviously need money to get that. But I have it planned. I know how I'm going to move my room around, so I've got this space for my books. But I'm blimmin' well hoping that these two bookshelves, once I get them, actually fit all of the books and that I don't have to buy any more shelves, because if that's the case, it's embarrassing. And I've had a big unhaul as well. I've actually unhauled quite a lot of books, which is why I did a book swap, because I had a lot of books to swap. But doing a big unhaul, I've now got more books and I still have no room on my shelves. It is embarrassing. But let's just get straight into what books I've got. I am not going to say what the books are about because there's so many in this video. Will probably go on for quite a while anyway. But I will just tell you briefly where I got them from. So the first lot of books that I'm going to share with you are all the books that I got kindly gifted and sent by publishers, authors. One book was gifted to me from a very nice bookstagrammer, and two are for read-alongs. So let's get straight into that. So first up is The Secrets of Sunshine by Phaedra Patrick. This was kindly gifted to me by Susanna, who is the enthusiastic bookworm on Bookstagram. She sent me lists and some little chocolate goodies for Easter. She's a very good friend of mine, so it was really kind of her to share this. I don't actually know much about this book. I have quite a lot of the author on my wish list, but I was drawn to the cover and it's absolutely gorgeous, and this is going to be a really good book to read, I think, along the summer periods, But yeah, I was kind of gifted that. And then these next two books are from Tandem Collective for read along. So the first one, which is actually starting today, is Heidi Swain's new book, A Taste of Home. I love Heidi Swain. A friend of me and my mum's, who is also another bookstagrammer, we actually joined the same time when we did our bookstagram. Ree, who is known as What Wally Reads, she's a huge Heidi Swain fan. She constantly talks about her books, and my mum was intrigued, so she got a couple of books from the library, absolutely loved her writing, and since then she wanted to actually own all of the books so she can reread them and do them in order, because she didn't read them in order. I have read her Christmas books. All of her Christmas books I read last December because I wanted to read some Christmas books, because obviously it was December and it's Christmas. So I haven't read all of her books, but I want to slowly do it in order. But Tandem Collective did a read along and I applied for it because obviously I absolutely love Heidi Swain's books, even though they're romance. I just love them. And I was chosen. So this actually starts today. I haven't read anything yet, but I will do. But we've got all the prompt cards. But the first prompt card is this. There's a little QR code on there, and when you scan it, it gives you a almond and cherry pie to make. And I love baking, so I downloaded it and I thought, well, I can't do any baking today because I haven't got all of the ingredients, but I might do it over the weekend. But oh, I could tell this is going to be a really fun read along, and I can't wait to start reading this a little bit later. And another one which I have finished is Am I Pretty Rude for a Girl by Rebecca Elliott. This is a YA coming of age story. So I finished this yesterday. Again, this was a read along with prompt cards, but it was digital prompt cards. It was a lot of creative challenges in this one, which was fun. It's a good book. I think I'm the wrong age for it. Like, I'm 13, this is like a 15-year-old, and I do think some bits I was probably a little bit old for, because I was like, oh good grief. But I will do a proper review of this book later. But I got this, read it, it was good. And then the rest of these are books that I have just got from publishers, authors for tools that are coming up in May. So first is You Had It Coming by B.M. Carroll. So I know what this book is about, and I am so excited for this. This is a very anticipated, I'm going to be reading probably in one sitting. So basically it follows, is it sisters or are they just friends? Not 100% sure, but we follow two characters. One's called Megan, who is a paramedic, and another one is Jess. Best friends, I've just seen it. Best friends, and they've there was something happened between them, like something happened, and they've lost contact since then. But Megan comes to a call out. It's an attempted murder, and she obviously goes there to treat this man, realises this man is somebody of a past, and so she's now struggling on, I don't want to particularly save him because obviously he has done something to her and her best friend Jess. Anyway, she messages Jess and to say, you know, blah blah blah, and then it turns out that this man who was attacked has died. And so the police have come knocking and they're starting to investigate this murder, and obviously Megan and Jess are involved in it. So it makes you wonder whether did Megan actually let him die or what. Obviously you're trying to work out what happened between Megan and Jess with this bloke, like what made them fall apart, what made Megan like sort of think, I don't want to save this man. It sounds like a brilliant crime thriller and I'm excited. I think it's kind of a bit like psychological maybe, I don't know, but it sounds really good. And I love covers that are like this. Red and black covers always scream goodness, so I'm really excited to get to that. I've got another one cut from the same cloth, which is Muslim Women on Life in Britain. It is edited by Sabina Akata. I'm not 100% sure. Hang on. Oh, it doesn't actually say like who wrote it, unless it is written by that person. Basically, it's like a sort of non-fiction memoir thing. It basically isn't. It's answering questions about Muslim women, but it's not your typical questions you would think of. It sounds really good. It sounds like something that will be quite funny, but also very educational, and it sounds brilliant. I love the cover, and Muslim women are they're people I don't know much of, and I will be pretty honest and say I'm quite sometimes prejudiced, especially the ones who are completely covered. And like when I've seen them around their husbands, I don't get it. So I feel like this is going to be an eye-opener for me, and like I wouldn't, like, this is just like my upbringing, you know. We're sort of told to fear Muslims in some sense, which is disgusting, but like with the whole terrorists and all that, you know, I remember at school, you know, there was a bit, I suppose, in some sense, some racism in it. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to this. I think it's going to be a really good book and a really eye-opener, and I'm really excited for it. And I'm not a huge non-fiction fan, but yeah, I see big hopes in this one. Another one is A Public Murder by Antoinette Moses. I can't remember what this is about. I think it's a crime thriller. It's a really like, oh, it's like a really thick, shiny, it feels lovely. I'm excited for that. It looks cool. Also, I've got The Bone Code by Catherine Reeks. So it's a Temperance Brennan novel, which is the TV series Bones. Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. I know what it is because I have watched it, but it's based on that storyline. I have read this author before and I have loved her books, so I'm very excited for this. And then, oh, this was another Tandem Collective read along. I should have put that with things. I got The End of Men by Christina Sweeney Bird. I can't wait to start this. I think I meant to start this today, or was it tomorrow? Not sure, I'll have to double check. But this is a dystopian thriller, sort of. Is it dystopian thriller? I know it's dystopian. Not 100% sure whether it's thriller, it's dystopian. But basically it is Glasgow 2025, and Dr. Amanda McLean is called to treat a young man with a mild fever. Within 3 hours he dies. The mysterious illness sweeps through the hospital with deadly speed. The victims are all men. This is how it begins. Dr. McLean raises the alarm, but the sickness spreads to every corner of the globe, threatening families, governments, countries. Can they find a cure before it's too late? Will this be the story of the end of the world or its salvation? So basically, this author wrote this before the pandemic happened. So she started writing this in 2018. She sent everything off in she started writing in 2017 and sent everything on in 2018, and I think this got published in 2019, if I remember correctly. There's a literal thing on here, like an author's note. Yeah, so she started writing The End of Men in September 2018, and in June 2019 she finishes the book, and it was published. So this was published, I think, just before the pandemic really hit the UK and we had lockdowns. So it's not obviously about coronavirus, it's about a virus that just affects men, and basically the women are left to try and save them and all of this malarkey. It sounds really good. I think it's going to be an interesting read, and I think because of what's been going on with our world at the moment with coronavirus and lockdowns and all that, it's going to be interesting, because in some sense this is going to feel quite true because of what's going on with here. I'm really excited to take part in this read along, and I also got given a tote bag. I know it's upside down because it's hanging on my thing, but I got a tote bag given with this book, which, yeah. I then got We Go On Forever by Sarah Govett. Again, I can't remember what this is about. Screams for the Void, which is I think it's a sci-fi dystopian book. Can't remember, but I love the cover and it is literally a very short book. Hit and Run. He was dead before she really knew him. This is a crime thriller. Absolutely love the cover. It just screams my kind of book. Paul Carroll, Don't Ask. Again, this is, I think, a thriller. So it's about the DNA ancestry tests, and like she wants to find out about her family, and then like a lot of things come out. It says, thinking of taking an ancestry test, be careful what you wish for. It sounds very good. I've got Alice, Shaken and Definitely Stirred, which is I think it's a romance, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I just like the sound of it and got it. We've got Your Friend Forever by Zena Barry. This is I think it's a YA book. It's about a character called Maud who's 12, and she finds the post office box address for her favourite pop star Tom Harding, lead singer of a punk band called Horsefly. Nobody really understands her or tries to, and she thinks Tom just might have some answers to her many questions. Yeah, I think it's like a YA coming of age story. Then I got this Wayne Fleet trilogy. So it's the Achilles Gene, D. Damia's Prize, and a Ferret Victory by N.E. Miller. To be honest, I couldn't remember signing up to do this tour, but apparently I did, so I got the books. But I don't know much about them, if I'm going to be totally honest, but we'll see. I then got a few more books from the library which I want to show you. So I kept Dead to Her by Sarah Penborough, but I have put back all of the rest of them. The only book I did actually read from the library was A Deadly Education. The others I've had to put back, and I'll get back out later because I just have not got time to read. But these books really sounded good, and they're books that I think I will probably read in one sitting, hence why I got them. So first I've got Kite Spirit by Sita Rahamkari. This actually doesn't need to go back until June, so I've got enough time to read this. But it's about a girl called Kite whose best friend committed suicide, and so her world is completely fallen apart. She's lonely, she's missing her best friend, all of that. So she leaves her home, London, and spends summer in the countryside with, I'm not 100% sure who, but then she meets a boy called Garth who understands her pain and everything, so they sort of form a friendship and all that. It sounds really good. I do like books that have a lot of mental health representation in. It's obviously hard hitting, it's quite upsetting, but I think they are very much needed in books because it is a taboo subject, and it's something I think people shouldn't be ashamed to share. I have mental health myself. So next has got Lullaby by Leela Slimani. I think this is a crime thriller. I'm not sure, it's only a little book. I think I'm going to speed through it, but it sounded really good, and I've got a feeling this was on my wish list. I'm not 100% sure, but it's basically about a nanny who looks after a husband and wife's 2 children, but then stuff happens, and from what the bit at the title says, the baby is dead, it took only a few seconds. I'm kind of thinking maybe the nanny did something, maybe, not sure. I then got Consumed by J.R. Ward. I have this on my wish list. The reason why, because Sarah J Maas recommended this book, and I obviously love Sarah J Maas, so I was like, I'm going to read some of the books she likes. This is about a firefighter, Anne. To be honest, I don't know. I think it is a romance. I have no idea. I just know that the main character is a firefighter and something happens to her and all that. It sounds good, and I honestly think I'm going to fly through that. And last one from the library is The One Who Wrote Destiny by Nikesh Shukla. This sounds like it's going to be quite a sad book. but again, it's sort of a topic that you don't have a lot in books, or if they do, it's like non-fiction. But you're following a character called Neha, who's been diagnosed with the same terminal cancer that killed her mother, and it's sort of like, was this her destiny? So she codes a computer program to find out, one that intricately maps out an entire life and the lives of those close to her: her dad, who left Kenya for a wind-blown northern England; her brother, a struggling comedian whose star is finally beginning to rise; her grandmother, who lost a man she loved to racist violence. By understanding the past, Nia hopes to come to terms with her present and reckon with her family's and her country's future. I have a feeling this might be quite sad, but it sounds really good, and again, I think this is going to be a book that I'm going to fly through. Right, I'm looking at how much I have been talking on here. I have a lot of books left to show you, so I think I'm going to do this last lot of books and stop this video and do a part 2, because there's so many, this is going to be far too long. So the next lot of books are the books that I got in a Facebook book swap group that I am in. So like I said, I did a massive big unhaul. This Facebook book swap is called Best Big Book Swap. I will put all the details of that in my description box like I always do. But basically, you either swap your books with a book that you swap your books, or you swap them for postage. So it's usually £3.20 for postage. So a lot of people prefer to do swaps than postage, because you give away a book but you get a book back. So I do a bit of both. I always do swaps first, but if no one's interested, then I'll do postage. But I had a really good, I think I got rid of 10-15 books on there, and yeah, a lot of them were hardbacks, so I did get 2 paperbacks back or hardbacks back. But yeah, so I got rid of loads and ended up getting books back in return as a swap. But books I got, so first up is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, which is a dystopian fiction. I don't 100% know what it's about. I just remember putting it on my wish list and hearing really good things about it, and I saw someone had this, well, she saw my wish list and she said that she got this, so she should happily swap it. So I got it and I'm very excited. I also got, I'm very, very happy, Felix Ever After by Kason Calendar. So I did a swap with this girl, but I swapped with another book, but I really wanted this, so I did it before with her, and I've swapped quite a few times with her. But I said, could I have this, and I'd get her something from her wish list, because she wasn't doing it for postage, she wanted to do it as a swap, and I didn't have any other swaps available to her, so we did that. I'm really excited for this. I really want to read it, but I have so many books to read in May, so I'm going to try and get to this in June. But I've heard nothing but good things about this, and yeah, I'm excited. I also got Children of Blood and Bone. So I do have this on Kindle, and obviously this is my book club pick that starts in May, but I wanted an actual book because I wanted to tab everything that I wanted to put in my discussion for my book club, and I can't do that on my Kindle. But I also didn't want to buy an outright paperback or hardback brand new, because I do technically have it on my Kindle. And I saw someone swapping this. She wanted one of my books and I was so happy, and she has read it. She read it for her book club too. It's a little bit of fading there, but it's in absolute perfect condition, and she's told me it's an absolute epic book, so I think it's going to be a very good book club pick. Next, I've got Taking Up Space, which is the Black Girls Manifesto for Change. Honestly, this was a swap, but I only recently put this on my wish list too. I'm really glad I got it, because it's one of those books that I need to read, and I think it's going to be very good. And honestly, it's in fab condition. I don't even know whether she's read it, because it's intact, no broken spines. It looks brand new. So, but yeah, very glad I've got that. I also got You, Me Forever by Jo Watson. This is about a writer called Becca Thorne, and she wants to she's got some like writer block, and she gets stuck in an elevator and it's faulty and it plummets down, you know, when they break and you go all the way down. And she emerges in one piece, but her vintage handbag that she has doesn't. But as she realizes, hidden in a bag which is torn, there are a massive big set of letters that turn out to be love letters. So it's sort of, it's about that letter and those love stories, but I also think it's probably maybe a romance for her as well. It sounds really good. It sounds like one of those romance books that are easy and I would just flip through. I'm excited for it. I do have high expectations for it, and a lot of the romance I did have high expectations were quite a flop, so I hope this isn't one of them. I also got really happy for Silker's Journey by Heather Morris. I have the Tattooist of Oswitch, which I still haven't read because I know it's a tearjerker and I know I'm going to be in a blubbering mess. But this is a sequel to it. Again, this is in fab condition. Like, honestly, I feel like this person just didn't want it and just got rid of it, because it's like, it looks brand new. It's, yeah, but I'm so glad I got it, and I feel like I am probably going to read Tattoo of Oswitch and this together, because I'm one of those people when they're like a sort of series kind of. I prefer doing it that. I also got The Girl of Ink and Stars. I think this is a fantasy. It's like little, and I love these books that have, ooh, didn't notice that. I love the books that have these, like, I don't know what they're called, but I like them. But yeah, this has been on my wish list. Oh, it's a double map, sorry. Little things. Yeah, this has been on my wish list since I probably started Bookstagram. It's a book that I saw around a lot, and then now I don't, but I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. But yeah, I've heard good things, and it does sound really good, and it's only a little book, so it's not going to take hard for me to read. I got Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This has been my most anticipated wanted book in a long time. Literally, you have to go all the way down to the bottom of my wish list to find this book, and bless the person who I swapped with did just that. Said she has the book, got it, very excited to read it. I still haven't read any of my Ruth Ware books that I do own though, but hey ho. We've also got The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. This was alongside Felix Ever After, so I did a swap with this book and bought like different things. But yeah, another book about race and the prejudice that white cops have with black people. It honestly, it gives me the Hate You Give vibes, and this has been a book that I've really wanted to read since I read Hate You Give. And so yeah, this is definitely getting bumped up on my TBR because I really do want to read it. Last 4 books, and then I'm going to end this video and do a part 2 because otherwise we're going to be here forever. I have a middle grade book, I think, Trouble in New York by Sylvia Bishop. I don't know whether it's middle grade or YA, I can't remember. To be honest, it's not something I usually go for, but I really like the cover, and this is not even been read. It's brand new. She hasn't read it, and I'm like, I'm getting a brand new book which cost £7, and I got it in a swap. But yeah, got this, don't really know what it's about. I do think it's going to be one of those books that like, it's got humongous writing. It's going to be an easy read. Yeah. Then I've got Patrick Ness, The Rest of Us Just Live Here. Now, this author has been everywhere, and he has tons of books, like A Monster Calls and things like that. Now, I watched A Monster Call at the cinema when it came out, and I was baffled. Like, I understood it, but it was one of those films that just really baffled me. But and I'm not 100% sure what it's about. I'm sure this is about zombies from what I've just seen on here. I read it and it sounded brilliant, and I was like, I really want it. But now looking at it, I can't remember what it's about. But yeah, it sounds really good. It's like, again, humongous writing, so it's probably going to be an easy read. And then the last two books I got, which was swapping with my hardbacks. So I got 2 hardbacks in the end. I got another Tony Parsons book, Girl on Fire. So I read Your Neighbour's Wife, which is my first ever Tony Parsons book. I do know he has a lot of romances and all that, but I didn't realise he also did crime thrillers. So when I did Your Neighbour's Wife for Tandem Collectors Read Along, I was like, ooh, I like his books, especially the crime thrillers. I wouldn't read his romance ones because they sound a bit... But I got another Tony Parsons book. The person I swapped with said this is an absolute brilliant book. Like, if I liked Your Neighbour's Wife, I would love this. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. And then lastly, we've got Daniel Cole Ragdoll, which again I swapped. It sounds fab. 1 body, 6 victims, and a detective coming apart at the seams. Now, I have read what this book is about, and it sounds really familiar, and I'm not 100% sure whether I've already read this. I do think I picked it up from the library because it sounded good, and I don't know whether I started it but didn't finish it, or I did read it, because obviously when I first did my library reading, I never did a bookstagram or anything, so I never jotted down the books I read from the library. So I did have a look and I couldn't see it, but I'm not 100% sure whether I took it out of the library because it sounded good, but I never actually read it because the blurb does sound very familiar. But either way, it could be a new read, it could be a reread, but it's been a long time since, if I have read it, it would have been a long time since I had read it, so, you know. But yeah, this sounds epic. It sounds really good. It sounds like my kind of crime thrillers. So yeah, I can see big things for that. So yeah, I'm going to end this video, and this is going to be the first part of the vlog, and then I will do part 2 with the books that I have bought second hand or have bought brand new. So look for part 2 in a few days time once this is shared. Thank you for watching. Again, if you like this video, press like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because I do lots of videos. And if any of these books I've mentioned in this video you read, let me know. Or if there are any books that you like the sound of, or like the look of, should I say, then yeah, say, oh, I want that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.